Question 4. What are some important holiday traditions for you, if any?
So I would say one of the ones I appreciated doing growing up was probably decorating the tree with my dad.
But I'm also not the person where if there's no party for me to go to, that I'm gonna be at home celebrating by myself. Like
Whenever you want.
What were holidays like for you growing up?
Holidays? Oh, they used to be so fun. It was family and family. Like that's family. And now that shit's terrible. But then I used to love holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, all my family come together, stuff like that. It wasn't super religious. Our holidays weren't super. Oh, well, let me take it back. Hallelujah night was Halloween. Hated it. Because I want to get candy. And they gave us like Cracker Jacks and shit. Like
But
that.
didn't you just say how like Hallelujah night was lit, at least when you were younger?
Yeah, but then I got older and I went to go trick-or-treating. Can't do that Hallelujah night. Because you in a shut-in. It's a revival. You did a whole weekend.
What is a revival?
It's like, I guess it's like 2 or 3 days. You sleep at the church and you get revived.
See, I grew up in a black church. I didn't grow up in this black church, so that's foreign to me. Sleep in the church.
Yeah, you used to spend a night at the church. It was a revival. So you spent 2 or 3 nights at the church with your fellow church people and no technology, no nothing. And you sit there, you go to Bible study in the morning. We used to go outside and we had like recreational time, so we could go outside and play basketball, stuff like that. But then you came in, we had a service. You had like choir time, stuff like that, and then we had like a service at night, and they had dinner, like you ate stuff like that. You lived at the church for like 3 days.
Was it good food?
Depending on who was cooking it.
Did people shower?
Ooh.
y'all was in a funky.
I don't remember if people showered. Yeah, no, we was probably showering because I would remember if motherfuckers was musty or not.
I don't think I would enjoy that.
Didn't, but you know.
Did you all celebrate Easter, Passover, communion?
Oh yeah, Easter, yeah. I don't know where the eggs came from, but Easter definitely, because it was the same sermon every Sunday. He rose, hey, on the first day he died, second day later, third day he rose, hey, oh my God, hey.
What were the holidays like for you growing up?
Trash. Unilaterally trash. Always a forced, weird, Norman Rockwell portrait of the idea of what the holidays should be, yet always falling short and landing in the uncanny valley of, you're trying. I see that you're trying, but this is uncomfortable and forced. Why am I being forced to smile?
Well, this is a touchy subject now, because now I'm not gonna say I hate the holidays. I just know it's never gonna be what it used to be. Holidays were amazing in my family. I usually would just go to my dad's side of the family because that's the side of the family that I'm closest to. But it was a time when we were doing like both sides of the family. And I was just like, this is great. Like, I get to see all my cousins. I get to talk a little shit. And then when I got older, I was like, oh, now I could drink with the big dogs. And I could really kick it now. Because, like, as a kid, you can't kick it. But now I can really kick it. And now I get to be in grown folks' business. Oh, this is amazing. You know, Barbara don't really fuck with Gene and them. Why not, girl? And they really tell you. Like, they really answer the question. I'd be like, stop. So that's why they don't come around no more? Crazy. I was in there like swimwear. And then I was driving myself so I could dip about the function when I was ready. Girl, you couldn't tell me nothing. I said, so who house we at? And I'm house hopping. Girl, we was kicking it, okay? There was no God involved. Christmas, we kicking it. Arbor Day, we kicking it. Earth Day, we kicking it. We just love, and this makes me really sad because now that I'm looking back on it, like, we really, really loved each other. And nobody, no matter what type of beef you had, we were still around each other and we figured that shit out. Now everybody was like, well, I'm gonna do for me. I don't really want to fuck with this person. I don't want to fuck with this person. Y'all can't duke it out and then get back to loving each other. It makes me really sad that we don't get together anymore. I plan on having kids in like 2-3 years. Who the fuck house I'm gonna go to with my kids? Like, my kids are never going to know that get together camaraderie. This your auntie and them, these they kids, so now they like, these your cousins. Even if we're not blood related, these your cousins now. That makes me really, really sad that my family really don't fuck with each other. Love that you're standing on your boundaries. Love that you're doing the healing. But also, damn, y'all, we can't get together and do a little potluck and play no spades enough. It was a time. I want to say it's up until I was like pre-pandemic. Now, I know how to cook my own holiday dinner, so I'm going to just stay here.
Growing up, one side of my family celebrated Christmas, the other side really didn't. So for a while, I would get Christmas gifts. I would tell my parent like what I wanted. I would go to my family's house. There would be all of the cooking, all of the meals, and all of the things like that. And it was a good time. It was a good time. I would decorate the tree with my dad. I loved getting gifts. I still have all of my CDs that I have that were gifted to me during Christmas. I appreciate Christmas, just the assortment of food. And even when it came to Thanksgiving, I appreciated seeing my family. I appreciated the assortment of foods. I appreciated going to my grandparents' house and seeing all of the people, even though I don't know people like that. I have a big family on one side of my family, not incredibly close with any of them, but it was still nice to see who belonged to who. I don't know nobody names like that. But it was nice to see folks. We did Passover. I enjoyed my little crackers and wine. Been doing that since I was a child. I ain't gonna lie, the wine at Passovers, bust. Manischewitz. So Passover was always cool. I can't even say it was always cool because I sat there because I had no other option. We did other religious observance days, which were my favorites, especially since that's when the feast days come. That's when we got a chance to cook. And I love to eat. So I feel like I always had a great time. And then also on the days when we had high days and there was a lesson and there was a feast, the lessons were always very short. So it's like a short lesson. We get to the food. Growing up in a church for 20 years, you already know who's good at what, right? I know who makes the best barbecue chicken. I know who makes good lasagna. I know who makes the butter cookies and the carrot cake. We also had like the day of fasting, which for us is the Day of Atonement. And I think for people who are Jewish is Yom Kippur. That was always a struggle for me. And what would really hurt my feelings about the Day of Atonement, or even about the Sabbath, right? Is that growing up, there is no, like, you can't partake in your pleasures. So I was so hurt because I never saw an episode of Disney Games growing up because it was, by the time the sun went down, it's 10 p.m. And now it was just like regular Disney stuff. So that hurts me.
Growing up in a Pentecostal Christian household, Christmas was a pagan holiday, so we did not celebrate Christmas. And I went to a Christian school, so I didn't see the difference. But when I got to high school, it was such a major difference. Like, people were like planning out different things that they were going to do. They were making Christmas lists. I had one year that I did go to public school when I was in 5th grade, and one of the assignments was making out a Christmas list. And I was like, well, I have everything I need. I'm not making a list, because that's how I was raised, I didn't participate in Halloween. First of all, I didn't watch Harry Potter until my adult life. I had to sneak and watch Yu-Gi-Oh! I had Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. When they found out them Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards was witchcraft and they was summoning demons, baby, woo! It got cut up, it got threw out.
Black families don't play about witchcraft.
They do not play about
Anything
witchcraft.
is remotely related to witchcraft, they shut that down.
You see how they treating that shadow work journal? On New Year's, we always had shut-in service. So, New Year's Eve, we in church, we get to church at 9 o'clock, we not leaving church till maybe 3. And don't let New Year's Eve be on a Saturday going into Sunday, because you still got to be back at church for Sunday school. You still got to be back at church for service. Yeah. And services may go till 5 o'clock because it's the first day of the year. And they're going to use that excuse as how you start is how you want to finish.
I'm not going to lie to you. Growing up, I hated when church would take up the whole weekend. I would be so pressed.
Okay.
I just want to chill.
Right.
I just want to sleep in. I just want to watch some. What were they doing? The Disney Channel games?
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch those.
No, there was no Disney Channel games. They have God games at Vacation Bible School.
Man.
The veggie fruits, what was it called? Veggie Tales?
Would you say, growing up, especially since, because it was the same for me, like, there was no Halloween, there wasn't no Christmas, we didn't even do, like, Easter. For a very long time, our family didn't even do Thanksgiving, right? Yeah. Depending on who you ask my family, they don't do Valentine's Day, they don't do the Mother's Day, they don't do the Father's Day. People really
hold on now. Did you know they gonna squeeze in Mother's Day? We gotta appreciate some mamas. Black mamas gonna be appreciated. And don't let them be a single black mama, because they gonna take Father's Day too. There was definitely a lot of situations and moments where I felt like left out. Like, parents would go out and buy their kids costumes, and that was something that was cute that we used to do when I was like a toddler, but like when my grandmother passed away, and this was all the way in 2003, my mom turned to religion, and, after that, from 2003 all the way until, my adulthood, it was like no Halloween, no Christmas, church services here, church services that. And, to have those weekend church services and to be in a private Christian school. I went to Mary P. Moody Christian Academy over in Robbins, and We come back Monday, we in church.
Yeah.
You get dropped off at 7 o'clock in the morning, you gonna eat breakfast, we going to church.
Yeah.
And Friday, we got church service on Friday.
Yeah.
We got to pray. Every morning we praying.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the school day, we pray. We got Bible studies, of course.
So for me, holidays were muddied waters. So my mom's side of the family, they are very enthusiastic about holidays still to this day. They love the fellowshipping as a family, gathering together, the gift giving. So the Christmas, the Easter, the Thanksgiving, whatever it is, they love it. And they've always really emphasized it. My dad's side of the family, at least my immediate relatives on that side, their religious denomination technically prohibits the celebration of holidays that are not from that specific religious denomination. So anything that's considered with pagan or worldly roots, they technically are not supposed to celebrate. However, they definitely skirted the line. I noticed that there was usually around Christmas, Thanksgiving, holidays, some kind of family dinner or whatever that they would organize. They would skirt the line by, yes, we're having dinner on Christmas, but we're not gift giving. Yes, we're getting together on Thanksgiving and having dinner, but we're not having turkey. I had some years where, I was more involved in my dad's side of the family, their faith, where I would just be with them on holidays. I had years, especially in my younger childhood, where I would just be with my mom and her family. At a certain point, I kind of started putting two and two together. Like, well, what's the point of me just being with my dad's side of the family if we're all getting together on holidays and saying we're not celebrating, but we really are? Like, just because we take away a couple of small customs, like, okay, we're not putting a tree up, okay, we're not having turkey, but we're still consciously gathering together as a family to fellowship on Thanksgiving, on Easter, on Christmas, on New Year's. It's the same thing, really. Once I realized that, I started spending more time with my mom's side of the family, because I figured, well, I might as well just go with them, because I see them a lot less often, because I'm not attending their church and I'm not doing the same level of activities that I'm doing with my dad's side of the family. So I might as well just go with them if I'm gonna basically celebrate either way. And then when I broke away from my dad's side of the family, from their faith altogether, and just said, I'm just gonna be non-denominational, I'm gonna figure out my spiritual and religious beliefs on my own, I really feel like I spent a lot more time with my mom's side of the family during the holidays then, because then at that point I had nothing holding me back. I had no guilty conscience, no pressure internally to not participate in the activities or whatever, because I had left my dad's side of the family. I had left their faith at that point.
Holidays, we really celebrate them within the house. I went to a public school, so it was definitely not my favorite times, because kids are kind of like mean, and if they see someone different, they'll kind of like poke fun at them. Like during Christmas, if there was a Christmas party at school, if there was a kind of assembly and we would have to act out like a Christmas play or something, I wouldn't be there to attend. Sometimes I would get out of work because I just wasn't allowed to participate in those types of activities. Same with Halloween. We never went out for Halloween. My mom, she was good about it. She would buy my family candy, so we wouldn't bunch of candy, so we wouldn't feel left out. Or like Thanksgivings that are not technically religious, we still wouldn't follow those. But like around the week, we would still have like people over avoiding that certain day to have dinner. There was a lot of events that looked fun, but I knew that I couldn't do them, such as plays, or I was in the school band, so if there were any like Christmas songs that the band would play, I would have to either be sitting in the office, or I couldn't even be in the assembly hall while those were playing. I would either be in a classroom or in the office. It was difficult. Kids were not very very nice about it. They would think of very creative names about what I was.
For the most part, we didn't do anything too crazy. We just did what I would assume the majority of people that celebrate Christmas do, was just kind of put the tree up, we decorate it. Sometimes we put an angel up on top. I only ever remember doing that once, to be honest, because after a while we just kind of stopped bothering putting the tree up for other unrelated reasons. But we stopped doing that fairly early on in my childhood. Not because we stopped celebrating Christmas. Like, I would still get stuff for Christmas. We just wouldn't put the tree up because I think just nobody felt like it, to be honest. Or like, one of my very early Christmas memories, though, was helping my mom decorate in the dark, and we were like hanging up all the lights and everything. And it was very fun. It was genuinely like a really enjoyable time of year for me. But over time, we stopped decorating, and I kind of just fell out of love with the holidays. I do feel a little bad about, because I don't have any like religious association with Christmas personally, but I really just enjoy the festivity of it. I really do genuinely enjoy decorating and everything. So kind of for myself, I do like putting the tree up and everything. I can't these days because my cat is a menace. I would generally like to hang up lights and like put a little wreath on the door or stuff like that. I would like to get festive personally. Thanksgiving was just Christmas without the tree. We do all the same shit. We eat all the same food. So that was pretty much just the Christmas before Christmas. No gifts and tree, but everything else was pretty much the same motions. Never did anything special for Easter at home. It was pretty much exclusively just going to church, and that was it. We would sometimes just go out to eat to celebrate, but that was it. We wouldn't like decorate or do any eggs or anything like that. Which I'll never understand why eggs are a thing for Easter. That I know that there was like, it's in association with like the old like pagan holiday behind that, but it's just very odd that that's still a practice that's stuck around in like Christian churches where like they do still have like Easter egg hunts. That just seems very weird to have like essentially a pagan tradition going on in church. That just doesn't make sense to me.
It was like your normal holiday, Thanksgiving. We would throw parties. Like, the older we got, the less we threw them, but we would have family over and people bring a dish, or like somebody cook, or I lived with my grandma. It was actually a two-flat. My grandma lived downstairs, and she would make a whole ass Thanksgiving dinner, and we down there eating, and maybe a couple cousins would come over or whatever. Christmas, same deal. It was, you know, family, gift giving. My parents would actually give us a bunch of gifts and stuff. I remember we had like bikes in the house. That's a small apartment. But us being kids, we would ride our bikes, and it was fun.
I got to see my family. Then my family would come to me and visit me, and we got to have fun. And then I would receive presents, and occasionally we would go on a road trip or fly out to see some family somewhere else, usually in Michigan, because that's where like both sides of my family are from. But holidays were great growing up as a kid. Before I became a cynic and questioned everything, holidays were the best.
So you talk about holidays being trash now. How have they changed?
It's not family no more, and I think it has a lot more to do. It has a lot less to do with religion, just more of my family. So like, we don't gather as a family no more. There ain't no more really family functions and stuff like that. Hallelujah night don't happen no more. Like, it's just everything changed when we got older. So you don't feel that same kind of camaraderie in the church and stuff like that. We also don't got a lot of members at my mom and them church, so it's like 6 or 7 people now. Everybody done died off and they old.
In the whole church?
The whole church, yep, including the pastor and them, because that's my granddaddy and my grandmom. So it's like 10 of them all together probably. And, so it's real hard to have fun church when there's 6, 7 people. It just don't feel like community like it used to feel. So
a lot of family secrets were unearthed over the pandemic. And one thing about me is, you do some fucked up shit, I'm gonna make you stand on it. There is no going back. There is no backpedaling. There is none of that, baby. You finna stand on the shit that you did. And I don't care how long ago it was. I'm still holding on to some shit from my mama's side of the family before I was even born. Because what you're not gonna do is talk to my mama crazy. Not while I'm here. Crazy. No, absolutely not. So now I don't go around the functions because me being me and all of my Sagittarius glory, baby, I'm gonna fuck you up over mine. And you are not going to belittle, disrespect, degrade my mom and my daddy or my brother. That is something that I do not tolerate whatsoever. So in order to save face and make sure that everybody else has a good Christmas, I'm gonna stay my ass at home. Because you got one time to give me a segue into why I don't fuck with you, and either I'm gonna handle it verbally or we gonna get into the gloves. And I mean that wholeheartedly.
I'm still not a big holiday person. I think that's largely because for over a decade of my life, my birthday and holidays weren't a big thing. Not only were they not a big thing, but with my dad's side of the family and their faith, they were shamed for celebrating those things, at least outwardly. So many years being in that culture, even being 5+ years out of it, I still have this just lack of typical enthusiasm around them. So while at my house, I do let my mom host the holiday dinners for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever at my house every year. I personally just am not super thrilled about them, but I do enjoy the fellowshipping that comes with it. And I'm open to having the dinners and stuff at my house that my mom hosts. It's a fun time. And even if I'm not super geeked about it, even if I'm not like setting up the tree and hanging bells and, cutting out turkeys to put on the wall, even if I'm not the one who's doing all those things, I no longer mind being in that environment and shamelessly being in that environment, because a lot of the reasoning that my dad's side of the family and their religion would use to not be involved in those things, mainly, like I say, pointing to the fact that they had pagan roots and that they're worldly and things like that. It's a lot of things that also fit those same descriptions that they participate in.
For the most part, they went from being like somewhat involved as a kid to pretty much non-existent. I don't really do anything for the holidays these days. I guess I just haven't really been motivated to do much of anything for the holidays. I don't really go out to see my family as often as I would like to for holidays.
As of now that we don't really go to the Kingdom Hall anymore, we don't really meet up with our old friends, so we don't really have them over. Me personally, aside from holidays, I won't celebrate my own birthday. Even if I could, probably if I wanted to, but I don't really care for it.
They've actually changed drastically. Sure, I don't get presents like I used to, which I barely got presents throughout most of the holidays, but nowadays it's less about the pomp and the practice of fucking Christmas and Thanksgiving. It's more about me just checking in on my family and friends and making sure they're good. Like, I started during the pandemic, putting on my Cthulhu mask, making a shit ton of cookies, occasionally grabbing weed and beer, making gift packs for everybody, just dropping them off because everybody was losing their mind because they were stuck inside and I had free reign to just move about the country, so use it.
Well, now I am a full-time worker, proletarian gang. So holidays, I'm a worker. I am probably way too cynical even for my own good. And COVID has been a thing and it's still a thing, even though we like to pretend it's not. So holidays are quiet. I guess from a religious/political standpoint, holidays are a day that I don't have to work and an excuse to take additional time off work, to hang out with my family, check in with my friends, and just recuperate from the grind. Nowadays, I don't really put much stock into holidays for what they're supposed to mean because I know that's bullshit. I know it's based on lies and theft and murder. The best I can do is to take time off work, take a breath, and make sure I'm good and my loved ones are good. So I do that. Mm-hmm. And then I eat good.
What would you say are some important holiday traditions for you?
I have a really huge family, so togetherness is definitely a strong point. But even this year, I stuck to the script so much. And, not only that, my birthday is around a holiday. Even though it's not like a holiday that's celebrated everywhere, it's the 4th of July. And people, you get off for it, people go barbecue. Now, I don't celebrate the reason of 4th of July because, we got Juneteenth. Yeah. Light that grill. Light that grill.
While growing up, Passover, the Jesus' dinner, that was definitely important for me. It still is. I don't think I've ever missed a year yet attending or at least observing it.
We always went to my grandma on my dad's side. We used to go to her house. We would go there first because my dad don't really like the grandparents on my mom and them side, so we wouldn't stay there that long. But my mama would keep us there all night, but my dad wouldn't go. And like I said, it was mostly family. It wasn't really no traditions like go to church and to do that. I think the only time we went to church for a holiday was Christmas. Then we always had that Christmas service. And Easter, of course, but that Easter usually fall on a Sunday, so it wasn't like we was doing nothing out of the ordinary. We was still going to church anyway. But that's when you got the purple suits, the red suits, the pink suits, the peach suits. Whatever suit, whatever color you had, you was really starting to stun on them. Lime green, didn't matter.
Honestly, I don't think I really have any, because holidays for me are more so a thing of like I can take them or leave them. Like I love the festivities and being invited and fellowshipping with friends and family, but I'm also not the person where if there's no party for me to go to, that I'm gonna be at home celebrating by myself. Like it's kind of like a social thing for me. So holidays don't really hold any spiritual resonance with me.
I think the biggest thing that I miss is, so my birthday is 10 days before Christmas. And every year on my birthday, after we got done celebrating and stuff like that, we put the Christmas tree up. Me, my mom, my brother. My dad isn't really big on Christmas because he lost his grandfather around that time. So like now I understand why he was such a grouch. It would just be me, my mom, and my brother putting up the Christmas tree, talking shit, like, and we don't do that no more. My brother is now in the military. He is starting his own traditions, and my mom just kind of gave up because she didn't have all her kids there. So here I am again being an odd man now, just like, all right, girl, if you don't want to put up the Christmas tree because your son not here, I get it, but I'm still here. So I think that's one of the biggest things I miss. And then I also miss seeing like all of my, I can't call her my grandma because I disowned her, my daddy's mother's grandchildren. I miss all of us being together because we used to be so close, and now I can only get one of them motherfuckers on the phone consistently. Like all my other cousins, like we just don't. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like, so when we continue this lineage, what the fuck is finna happen? Because now we all strangers.
So I would say one of the ones I appreciated doing growing up was probably decorating the tree with my dad. That is something that I really did enjoy. The putting up of the tree, the taking down the tree, the decorating of the tree. I love the Christmas aesthetic. I love the Christmas trees in the windows. It was decorating the tree with my dad growing up. That was always a fun time. Driving around looking at Christmas lights and Christmas decorations. I'm not gonna lie, it's a good time because people be doing the most. It looks like a lot of fun. And the overall aesthetic and feel of Christmas just feels very warm. It feels very warm. It feels very cozy. I love Christmas movies. I feel like Christmas is really the big holiday. I feel like people don't really do any other, people ain't going all out for Easter, right? I don't really think there's another holiday that's really stepping on Christmas like that. Because that's a full-fledged production. Growing up in the church idea, people aren't really making a big hoopla, right? Outside of the cooking, that's probably like the biggest thing, which I do enjoy, but like people aren't getting it on and popping for Passover. People aren't getting lit for Lent, right?
I don't really do Thanksgiving dinners anymore because time, money, and I'm usually working. And then Christmas, I don't really give a shit anymore. It's neither here nor there.
Saving up my PTO to take off more time around the holidays so I don't burn myself out at the end of the year. Really trying to visit and connect with family because I don't do that enough. And I feel like really none of us do because there's no financial incentive to being in community with our family. And I need that. I need to be in community with my family, my loved ones. Let me know that I'm still a person, still bound by something other than the need to produce value. Spending time with my wife, whom I love. Getting presents for the kids, because I'm not a kid anymore. I don't get presents, I give presents.
Bullshit.
And I don't get presents, I get money. Even though like all my nieces, nephews, little cousins, all them, some still might be like caught up in the minutia of cultural holidays. I'm not gonna make it my thing to ruin it for them just yet. Like life will do that. So for now, let me cook something for y'all. Let me get y'all some presents. Let me put some money in your stocking. Something. I love using the holidays to give to the people I love.
What are some of your best memories of holidays and family gatherings?
Okay. One year, my parents actually played a prank on me and my brother. Told us that we didn't get any gifts. And, you know, as a child, that felt very important. It was like, it's Christmas. You feel me? You telling me we about to watch a movie. My sister, I was like tripping about it. I was like crying. And my sister took me downstairs. She was like, hey, I want you to come down to my grandma's house real quick with me while I do something. I'm like, okay, cool. We come back upstairs. It's nothing but gifts under the tree. I'm going nuts. Like, as a kid, it was just like, y'all got my ass. 1, 2, look at all these fucking presents. Like, so yeah, that's one that really, really stuck out to me. That was like a good childhood memory for me.
I got a lot of memories from the holidays. You know, especially when I was at my grandma's house and we used to be in her little apartment, but it was nice. It was always like 20, 30 of us, but we made it work in our little 2-bedroom apartment, and it was always nice. It was just like the family was all together. We would crack jokes and hang out, and like it was just nice to have a family together. You see all your cousins and, you know, your uncles, aunties, all that, like everybody together. Like that was always cool, and I felt like we was closer when we were younger, and then we kind of got older and everybody kind of drifted apart, did their own thing. In general, just that camaraderie as kids, like that was, for me, like that was fun, and then I hate that it kind of dissipated as we got older.
I would definitely say one of my favorite memories as a kid was one of the Christmases before we really stopped like making it a big event. They still used to go out of the way to like say that all of the presents were like to me from Santa, and there would be like little personalized notes in some of them. It was super cute. One of my favorite memories was I got Battleship as one of my presents as a kid. And my oldest brother, James, was around, which was very rare at the time because, well, he still is in the Navy, but he was at the time, and he was back home on leave. And I remember we spent a good like 20 or 30 minutes playing Battleship, and he was cheating the hell out of me because he knew I didn't understand the rules, so he was just really rigging it. But I just remember really enjoying playing Battleship with him. It was a really good time. Nothing in particular really happened. I just really had a lot of fun. That one morning. I remember that very vividly for some reason. I couldn't tell you why. I guess I just must have really liked Battleship.
Definitely spending time with, you know, my sister and her kids and her husband, and in Atlanta with my mom and my little sister, and all of us getting together every year over these last few years. And then going to my aunt's house, my mom's big sister, her oldest sister, for years until her and her husband retired and moved out of state. They every year would have these big family dinners with this great food for the holidays. They're very big holiday people, and like it would just be so much fun. We're playing games, we're talking, we're laughing, we're, you know, going to the outlet mall, we're Black Friday shopping, or, you know, day after Christmas shopping, or whatever it is. Like all of those memories were really fun.
I hate, you know, to have to name this holiday because, like, of course, I don't celebrate the reason for the holiday. I just celebrate the family and togetherness. But Thanksgiving would for sure be my favorite because, for one, I'm a foodie. Cornish hens. We got cornbread. We got dressing, cranberry sauce. We got macaroni and cheese, lima beans, green beans, greens. And it's not just regular pork greens. It's turkey greens because, you know, we got to be inclusive. You got a ham. You got a turkey. Yeah. And, you know, I don't know when the black communities as a whole started deciding to deep fry turkeys and jerking them and all of that. But that was the greatest thing we could have ever did. I rock with it. The budget went up.
Definitely the big Christmas at my parents' house growing up, where basically the entirety of my mom's side of the family came over. Keep in mind that my mom had 7 siblings, or she was one of 7 siblings. Everybody came. There was a wedding on the front porch. I played a little bit of the piano for the wedding. I played Here Comes the Bride. And all my cousins were there, all my aunties and uncles. My mom was cooking, my older sister was cooking, my aunts and uncles were cooking, the kitchen was busting, the house was full to the brim with people, and it was overwhelming, but it was a ball. It was like the whole family was there. This is as holiday as it gets. What's not to like?
I think my favorite memories were hanging out with my daddy mama. She's kind of tainted that as of late because now she's not somebody that I'm proud to be related to, unfortunately. But when she was, before my veil was lifted, let me put it like that, because she wasn't doing what she needed to do. before my veil was lifted and she was the apple of my eye, she would dote over me. And anything I pointed at magically appeared under my Christmas tree. So I'm like, oh shit, she fuck with me, huh? Sam really fuck with me. Look at all this shit I got. And then it would be these cards would be like, to my grandbaby, yada yada yada, blah blah blah. I was like, oh well, thank you so much. Like, I'm never unappreciative. I'm always gonna tell you thank you. I would never look at the gift. I would always look at my parents' reaction to how happy I was opening the gift. And I think that made me even more excited, seeing that my parents knew that they did a good job. I think those are the things that I really, really miss. Watching my brother open his gifts. Because I'm big on...
Because you're older, right?
Yeah. We're 5.5 years apart. So, like, seeing him, like, he's really into cars. So, like, one Christmas, they got him this fat ass like white Escalade. It was like a remote control Cadillac Escalade. He opens it. He's like, "Look, sister, look!" And I'm like, "Fuck everything that I just got. Fuck everything that I just opened." And I would sometimes cry. Like I'm just like, he's so happy. Like I'm finna tear up now thinking about it. But those are the things that I really, really miss about my holidays. It's like it was so much love and just joy, and now we don't got that.
I think my favorite memories, I don't know if this is ironic, but within the hall, despite what I feel about everything else, my different views about God, everyone in the hall were extremely nice to me and my family, at least to my personal view. They treat me like family, even to this day. Them knowing that I don't go, there's this perception people from the Kingdom Hall won't really associate with you anymore if they know that you're doing certain things that you're not supposed to. At least me personally, that's never happened to me.
But how would you say over time your beliefs or even understanding of the holidays have changed?
Well, like I say, just realizing that a lot of reasonings for not participating in certain holidays just honestly don't make sense when you really do a little bit of research. It doesn't take much more than a Google search, really. I don't celebrate this holiday because it has pagan roots, but anniversaries also have pagan roots. Or I'm not supposed to celebrate my birthday because that's vain, and you know, the couple of stories in the Bible that talk about birthdays ended negatively, like with King Herod and how he killed someone and like all of this. But it's like, okay, but birthdays and anniversaries are celebrating your birthday is celebrating the anniversary of your birth. But it's okay to celebrate the anniversary of a marriage. So, like things like that just really start not making any sense when you really look at the reasonings for why you're discouraged from participating from certain activities and things like that. Once I started connecting a lot of those dots, it really started opening my eyes and making me see that a lot of this doctrine was hypocritical in a lot of ways, or that it just didn't make sense. As I've stepped away fully from just organized religion in general and no longer have a specific church home or anything, that I have a brick and mortar place or congregation that I belong to and attend, I have, throughout my classes for my degrees that I've been in school for the last few years, the religion classes and philosophy classes and worldview classes and things like that, I've really come to realize that, especially within the Abrahamic religions, so Judaism, Islam, Christianity, especially within those three, so much of the holidays and the doctrine behind them and the meanings behind them have so much overlap that I feel that if people realized how much different denominations have in common with each other, this whole fighting over what holiday we're celebrating or not celebrating, like a lot of that would cease to exist, because they would realize like, oh yeah, all of this is a little pointless, like arguing about which holiday is better or which one we're not celebrating and all of that. So now I just kind of have a view of holidays where if you're inviting me to the cookout or to the dinner or to the party, sure, I don't care. I'll show up if I'm free.
Besides realizing Santa isn't real, they become like more leisure things to have like time off of work and stuff like that versus like this Thanksgiving, this Christmas, you know, man, America. Okay, I'm sorry.
One big thing, and this might not be like directly to your question, but like it kind of hangs over my understanding of holidays as an institution in the U.S. The U.S. doesn't have enough holidays, because if the U.S. gave its working classes more holidays, they might actually start to demand more and more benefits from, you know, living in a society. My understanding of like the holidays themselves, Christmas, it's an appropriation of Saturnalia and other associated and various winter solstices.
Much more fun holidays, if I may add.
Let's throw a bacchanal instead. Wine and nudity, please. I see holidays as being almost intrinsically empty and performative affairs that just boil down to me having an excuse to take time off work and spend time with my loved ones and maybe drink a little bit too much and receive some presents that I don't need and prepare for the Monday after.
Thinking about just in the next few years with like you having kids, what are some holiday traditions that you would like to carry out for your family?
Let me tell you something. I am going to be that bitch. I'm going to be that mom. Like, all the kids gonna come to my house and be like, damn, your mama cool as hell. So the things that I want to do for my kids, if they are born in December, I want to do like their birthdays are separated, because my mom and dad tried that shit with me. Where it's just like, oh, go pick one gift from under the tree. I didn't open my legs in March to be born in December. So what you're not gonna do is separate my birthday, conjoin my birthday and Christmas. That's Jesus' birthday. They ain't got shit to do with me, okay? I'm my own bitch, my own person. So how about we do a real celebration and I can open my own gift that you intentionally bought for my birthday, and not a gift that you was just like, oh, it's already here, might as well. No, fuck that shit. They're gonna get their own day. If they are born around Christmas time, they're gonna get their own day, their own celebration, their own presents. I want to do baking. Like every weekend up until Christmas, we bake one holiday treat, whether it be cookies or cinnamon rolls. I want to do hot chocolate when you open up your gifts. I highly doubt we're going to be going to grandparents' houses and shit like that. I would love for me and Devontae to be able to have all of our family get together, like both of our parents come down to us and have that type of thing. Because I feel like traveling with kids is kind of traumatic, especially when they want to be in their own environment and stuff like that. And then once they get older, I don't want to do gifts anymore. I want to do experiences. So let's go to Aspen, or let's go to Bali, or let's go, everybody pick a country that we want to go to, or even a state, because some people don't like traveling outside the country. Maybe my kids are going to be within the continental U.S. I don't know. But whatever they're interested in is, I want to do that. So whatever they're catered to their interests, that will be their gift. So they be like, hey, Mom, I want to go see a Broadway play. Cool, we don't have any going on during Christmas time. Here's a ticket that I bought for June. That's your Christmas gift. And then we do stuff like that. So I really want to cater their gifts to their needs and their interests and stuff like that. Decorating for every holiday. I just want to make sure that my kids are well loved and well nurtured, and they understand the importance of family. Because it doesn't matter what happens, I know that I'm always going to have my mom, my dad, and my brother. Those are 3 constants that I can count on tenfold. So I want to make sure that whether I'm here or not, God forbid something happens to me where it's just Devontae and my kids, I want them to know that whether the holidays are here or not, they have each other. That was probably the greatest gift my mom gave to me and my brother. It doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what type of spats or anything we have. It's me and him until the world blow up, whether my parents are here or not. So I think those are traditions that I want to pass down to my kids.
I look forward to whenever I have a child or two in the future, or some stepkids or whatever, perpetuating similar family memories with them when it comes to not just the holidays, but in general.
I think whenever I kind of get my own like space for myself, or whenever I'm in another relationship, I know it's super corny, but I do genuinely like the idea of just doing like a Christmas movie marathon, just kind of putting together a list of like just cheesy ass Christmas movies that I liked as a kid, and just kind of blowing through them all on like Christmas Eve leading into Christmas Day. I think that would be a lot of fun for me. That's just something I kind of wanted to do personally. Kind of the same thing with a lot of the major holidays, like for Halloween. I love doing like horror movie marathons. It needs to be more of a market for Thanksgiving movies so that I can do something in November.
Any final comments?
Just look forward to hearing more of me, I guess, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Look, you know what I'm saying? I'm him, Timothy, you feel me? I hope, you know, y'all learned a lot, and y'all hear what y'all hearing, and see what y'all seeing. And don't mind the ball spot, because I ain't even know, so don't worry about that.
You keep pointing it out. Maybe nobody would have noticed.
Nah, never negative. I saw what I look like on the camera beforehand, and I ain't got no lining or nothing. So it's bad, but that's okay. God is who you make them. You feel me? God is what you make them. You know, and I just feel like people have this overarching view of what God is, and that's not really up to people. That's up to you as an individual. You can't let nobody else tell you who God is to you, and what he say and all that. And people look at the Bible and they say, oh, the Bible's been written and all that. Like, I'd be like, I don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't let that phase your belief in whatever you believe in. Just, you know, do your own journey, do your own research, and just, if you want to believe, you believe, and, you know, don't let nobody phase that, whether they believe in them or they believe in something else. Just, you know, lean to your own, you feel me, vices, and do what you gonna do, and take it from there.
I appreciate you sharing. That is all of my questions.
Well,
I really
The only thing you can do is be authentically you, and however that looks, and you can't force people to see the greatness in you. You have to believe that there's already greatness within you. I know that my God don't make no mistakes. So when he orchestrated me, there were no mistakes made. And whatever my path is, whatever your path is, just take everything one day at a time. Analyze your mistakes. Make sure that you're learning the lessons that you need to learn. And if you don't learn the lessons you need to learn, it's always going to come back around, and eventually you're going to get to it. Life is not linear. Life is all about the ups and downs and the ebbs and flows. And the main thing that I probably took away from building my relationship with God is that I am eternally grateful for whatever that he has given me and whatever he has in store for me.
Free Palestine from the river to the sea. It will be free in our lifetimes. End the U.S. embargo on Cuba, and get the U.S. and France out of Africa.